Hey guys, Sean here. Thanks for joining me on another YouTube video. I know I've been away for a while, but I'm back and I've got a lot of videos to show you. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to shoot outdoors. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that you can use to improve your overall photography and your portrait photography. So today we'll be addressing more of the creative aspect of photography rather than all the technical stuff. You know, all those technical things are good and you need to learn them, but when it comes down to it, it's more important that you learn how to be creative when you're out there taking photographs. So this is what we're gonna work on today. So we're gonna use some little natural lighting and some flash. We've got Betty here, who is our model for today. She's gonna do a fantastic job. I know it, I feel it in my bones. If not, this is the last time you will ever see her on these videos. I'll leave links in the description bar for you guys to check out more of her work. She's a great model. If any of you guys are photographers in LA need to use a good model, this is perfect. She is great. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is lighting when you're shooting against the sun. Now today is a very beautiful sunny day in California. The only problem is it can be very harsh on your subject's face. Now there are ways around that. Now the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to shoot against the sun. Once we face the sun, we're going to change up a little bit. But I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take some pictures with her without any reflectors. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a reflector, such as this one here. You guys probably seen on many of my videos that I posted up. We're going to start with this. Actually, we're going to end with that. This is going to be the second thing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of this rim light that's hitting our subject right now. I'm shooting with a 7D and an 85mm lens. Why, you might ask? Well, in this particular case, I want to get more focal range out of my lens, but I want to use my 85mm lens. So this will give me very nice lens compression. It'll give you that nice blurry, creamy backgrounds that all of you like when you're shooting portraits. So let's go ahead and take a few shots and let's see what we get without a reflector, with her back facing the sun and taking advantage of this rim light. All right, let's go ahead and take some pictures. Just a quick point I wanted to bring about is your subject's clothing. If they have bright clothes, it will affect your photographs. So you want to make sure that they wear neutral colors and colors that absorb sunlight rather than reflect it, as you see in this image here. All right, thanks. Okay, so as you can see, those shots came out really nice. That was with no reflector, just the natural lighting that's surrounding our model. This ground is very reflective. It's a very light brown, so it will reflect some light back. So wherever you're shooting, you want to make sure that you've got some natural bounce light off of white walls or something. Face your subject towards reflective light. So that way it'll create a nice little fill. In this case, we're using the ground and we're using some of this wall behind us. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to introduce a reflector. We're going to see what kind of lighting we get out of that and compare the differences between using a reflector and not using one at all. All right, so let's go ahead and take some pictures with a reflector. Another quick point I wanted to bring about is when you put reflective light on your subject, you will have to compensate and adjust your shutter speed or aperture accordingly. In this case, if you look at my shutter speed, it was just a slightly little faster than the last image I showed you. Instead of 1/1000th of a second, this was 12/50 of a second. All right, so you might be asking yourself, why should I use a reflector and not? The photos do come out nice without using a reflector. But using a reflector in natural light does a couple of things for you. It creates a nice fill light, not a fill flash. Creates a nice fill light for you, and on top of that, it creates a nice catch light in their eye. Creating a catch light in their eye really separates your images from that of amateurs or beginners. A catch light just brings a little more dimension and it brings a little more attention to the eyes. So that's what you want to do. So let's go ahead and just look at that for one quick second when you're using a reflector and how it makes a difference when you put it on your subject. Okay, so let's take a closer look at what a reflector does when we're facing the sun. Again, we have our models back to the sun, or kind of the side, and we have her in the shade. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this reflector, bring it up ever so lightly until we see the light hitting her face. So as you can see that with the reflector and without it. Now you don't want to go underneath like this because you're going to create a lot of rough shadows underneath. So it's going to have the opposite effect that you would have when the sun's hitting you from the top to bottom, okay? In this case, if you have it like this, you're gonna create a lot of shadows underneath. So you wanna try and get it as even as possible. So as you can see there we have the light hitting her, reflecting her really nice, and there we don't. Okay, now again, this is going to reflect in her eyes. It's going to give her a really nice catch light. Now you don't want to keep it too long on your model either because they will start squinting their eyes. So again, don't have it too long on them. Give them time to relax their face, because what you don't want is uncomfortable pictures. You don't want your model looking like she's uncomfortable, like she's too hot, like she probably is right now. And make sure you give them a break from being in the sun too long. So once you put this on there, you get very natural looking shots as you've seen in these images. So not only does a wide aperture get you that, but also a very, man, I was on a roll. Particularly, that is my favorite, that sounds stupid. Particularly, is my favorite part of the photo shoot. Gracias. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the last part of this tutorial, and that is judo chop.